Welcome to today's episode of Science in the Kitchen with your host, Peyton Miller.
Today, I will be explaining plate tectonics to the world using pancakes. Molten lava, my favorite condiment. A divergent boundary is where two plates move apart, allowing magma to seep up through the cracks, creating new crust. At divergent boundaries between continental plates, a rift valley can be created through this process as well. At a divergent boundary between two oceanic plates, as they move apart, magma rises and hardens, which then creates oceanic ridges, such as the Mid-Atlantic ridge. At a convergent boundary with an oceanic and continental plate, the oceanic plate, due to its more dense form, always slides under the continental plate. This creates the process the oceanic plate melts, creating magma, which is less dense, rising to the top, creating volcanic activity. Two oceanic plates that collide at a convergent boundary create a subduction zone when the older, more dense plate slides under the newer, less dense plate. After this process occurs, the older plate then begins to melt, creating magma, which is less dense, that will then rise to the top, creating more land mass. At a convergent boundary between two continental plates, what will happen is, due to their both being equal density, they will compact, creating mountain ranges and crunching the rock, which of course creates mountain ranges. Plates moving together create pressure and fold the rock, which then creates folded mountains. Like that. Like that. Yeah, there. See? When plates slide past each other, they create a transform boundary, which is when we get into faults. Fault, a fracture in the rock bed or where two tectonic plates come together. Anyways, so typically these happen diagonally, and this one is called the footwall side of it, and they typically have they do have a larger base. Well, this is the hang wall side, which typically has a larger top. A normal fault is when a hanging wall slides down a footwall. A reverse fault is where a hanging wall slides up a footwall. This is a strike slip fault, where the different plates move by each other, creating lots of friction, building up into earthquakes. Now, if you'll excuse me, it is time for me to truly enjoy my experiment by eating it.
Does this sentence mean that the class is really busy?
A normal fault is where the This is a fault where I'm sorry. All right. This is a fracture in the rock bed, or where two plates come together. This is the footwall side of it, these typically happen diagonally, by the way. This is the footwall where the bottom is like, no, God!
Keep going, you're doing good.
No! Ellie, you need to stop. This is a fracture in the rock bed. Give me a few seconds. This is a fault. Yes. It's where two plates come together after there's a fracture in the rock bed. They typically happen diagonally, like this. This is a footwall vault where it's wider on the bottom, and then this is a hanging wall vault where this is a fault. A fault is a fracture in the rock bed this is a fault, a fracture in the rock bed, or where two plates come together. Typically, faults are diagonal, with the footwall, this side, having a larger bottom, where This is a fault. A fracture. He started filming. We'll just edit it. The strike slip fault. I felt super creepy doing that, but whatever.
What happens in a strike slip fault?